Here we are. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Who's that? Kella C1 says Grand Rising SouFlo and the Morning Thoughts family. Kella, I haven't seen you in a couple of days or so. I hope all is well. Blessed morning to you. Garrett Thom, thank you for being here. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to the entrepreneurs, the stay-at-home moms and pops, the retirees, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, food delivery drivers, round town drivers, and over the road long distance truck drivers. Shout out to my brother Troy Stars Trucking Vlogs on YouTube. I love it when people say, yo, SouFlo. A young man actually contacted me the day before yesterday. SouFlo, I'm on Troy's channel. I'm very interested in the trucking thing, and I'm glad you sent me to that channel. So thank you. That kind of stuff, I love that. So thank you so much for going over there and supporting Troy Stars Trucking Vlogs on YouTube. That's another brother doing his thing, and I like to support, right? Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. That's a good person. Thank you for being here. Let me give a shout out to my first top 10 at least, and then we're going to get into what we came to talk about this morning. We're up this morning. We're feeling good, healthy, and strong. Have a lot to give thanks for. All right, so all praises to the Most High this morning as we rise. Grand Rising. All right, so let me start out by saying shout out to, I already said shout out to Who's That Killer C1 and Garrett Thom. Thank you for being here. Top of the morning to you. Anna, is that Emma Inspire? Shout out to you. The Kicks Cave, Jan Mitchell. Triple F, shout out to you. The Real O'Shane. P-Niles123. Nicole Bazaar, good morning. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you as well. Audrey Minot, shout out to you. Sir Alfred Benjamin says good morning to the Morning Thoughts. Massive up, up, up. Manners and respect subscribers. And to Sash and Cliff Lindsay, Blue, Royce, Angus, shout out to you. Philly Yard Vibes, Yardy Vibes, what's going on? And Dwayne, Neely Neal, shout out to you. Royce, Angus again. All right, so shout out to, if I didn't call your name, you already know what it is. It's love and respect just the same, all right? We won't spend all morning shouting out, but I appreciate you. The ones who come in really early, shout them out first because I just like when them enter the thing early. All right, so here we go. The topic for this morning is Jamaica safe? I should have put is Jamaica safe for travel, but I'm going to leave that there because I am going to talk about is Jamaica safe? So the is Jamaica safe for travel thing, when this whole corona thing hit us, man, a lot of people were scared. A lot of people still are scared. But the world is opening up. People are going places. And I would hate for you to be one that is so scared and held in by fear. A lot of people are scared, held in by fear. They won't go anywhere. They're locked in the house like prisoners. They're driving in their cars with a mask on. This is somebody that's really scared. The windows are up and you got a mask on in the car. They're afraid. So I'm telling you that things are getting better. Okay, this is about being optimistic. Things are getting better. Things are starting to turn around. Things are looking better. They are loosening the reins. We are going places. I just traveled recently overseas and came back, and others can too. And to tell you the truth, when I got to my destination, there were crowds of foreigners there. So you might be sitting still, but the world is still moving. People are still living. People are still going about and enjoying. So somebody said, SouFlo, you haven't talked about is Jamaica safe in a long time. I see you do these crime stories and they make me afraid to go to Jamaica. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Before I even start, I have an article here that I want to read because the article actually lays out everything I wanted to talk about, except for in some places I will have to elaborate, but that's okay. But don't watch the crime stories when I do them. and think this is something to make me afraid to go. I don't want to go. I don't know if you saw the video that I put up yesterday. If you're into tranquility, real peace, and just soaking in life, then there's no better place to be. And I would be a hypocrite because when I'm in Jamaica, all I keep saying to myself is, man, if I could bottle this up, this feeling, this experience, and give it to my audience members, if I could have each one of you travel there and experience what I experience when I'm there, it's like giving you a piece of heaven, you know? So I can't come back now and be like, oh, it's not safe and it's dangerous and over 500 people have been murdered so far for the first couple of months of the year, which is all true. It's all true. But we have to put things into context, because when we don't put things into context, people go away with the wrong idea and they're turned off. Many people have said, we've canceled our vacation to Jamaica this year, or I just started listening to your channel 2 months ago, and after seeing a couple of videos that you did, we canceled our vacation to Jamaica, or we were supposed to get married in Jamaica, but we're choosing another Caribbean island or something like that. So I have to put things into context. I owe it to Jamaica. I owe it to my audience. I owe it to the viewing public. So when they come here, they don't just, because you know, people are short attention span, and they might listen to 5 minutes of a 1 hour conversation. And the 5 minutes that they jumped in was the 5 minutes I was saying, yo, the man running at the people in house, kick off the door, shoot up the 81-year-old woman and her 3 grandkids. And they're like, oh no. And they listen and soak that, and 5 minutes and they're gone. We got to put things into context. And you, as the public, you have to listen, right? A lot of you are living in fear. Stop it. You only got 1 life to live, man. 1 life to live. I'm not saying be careless with it, but you got to be a little bit fearless with it. I should put that on a t-shirt as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm not saying for you to be careless. I'm just saying live a little fearless. All right. So famous for its laid-back culture and being the birthplace of dancehall, reggae, dub, ska, and many other things, Jamaica is certainly a cultural force. Combine it with being the home of Rastafarianism and a whole lot of natural beauty, from beaches to jungles and hills and valleys and all that, you've got it made. Stop right there first, because if you talk to any Rasta, they will tell you that there is no ism in Rasta. See? But this article was written for people who had never visited before. I am talking to those who have visited before but are afraid to go back. You haven't been back in a long time. I'm talking for those who are like, I don't know if I want to go to Jamaica right now. It doesn't matter. COVID is here, yes. But as you can see by videos I've put up recently, people are very much still flocking into Jamaica, okay? So don't even worry about COVID. You have to get along with the world. Don't sit around and wait for COVID to leave. It's going to do what it's going to do. And they are going to do what they are going to do. Who is they? They who are in charge. So you just go ahead and live life in the meantime. So Rasta will tell us that there is no ism in Rasta. So it's not Rastafarianism. So if you ever visit Jamaica and you get around some Rasta, it's actually considered a bit, I wouldn't say disrespectful, but you know, when you start ism them thing, there's no ism in it. They'll tell you that it's a way of life. And man, a Rasta, and Rasta is just Rasta, right? It's a way of life. It's supposed to be a pure way of life, a healthy, natural way of life. All right. So it's probably has you thinking, well, is Jamaica safe to visit? And it's a fair question. That's why we created this epic thing right here. So right here, we're going to talk about how safe Jamaica is. So Jamaica has had its bad press. Jamaica has had its situations where, you know, the violence in the press, that's all people see. I said that in my last video I posted yesterday, where I'm in Jamaica, that if you stay outside of Jamaica for a long time and you listen and you feed in and it consumes you, you will start to fear going there. That's what happened to a lot of our citizens residents, people who moved away, they got afraid. They stayed away for too long. Some people couldn't go back right away because papers never straight and all that. And some people stayed away for too long and kept listening to only the bad stuff and kept paying attention. I don't know why it's like that, but we are more entertained by bad things happening. So we kind of like tune to the bad stuff. Somebody put up a video about a family video and, you know, a family having fun, children growing, this and that, taking a family vacation. That video will do, okay. You put up a video about 4 men just got killed over here and a police officer was one of them and this and that, and everybody is like right here. And this is what they want to see. So the bad stuff kind of like eats up your attention. Try not to be one of those kind of people. It makes you fearful when you get there. If you're brave enough to go there after harboring all this fear, right? So here we go. So Jamaica has had its fair share of, and rightfully so, it's earned its fair share of negative press. Because really and truly, there shouldn't be that many murders in one little island like that in such short space of time. So we've earned it, right? But these are problems. These problems do not define Jamaica as a country, though. Beautiful beaches, swamps, mountains, rainforests to explore, amazing food, these colonial buildings, which half of them we want pop down, and these kind of, I don't know why people think these colonial buildings, and yeah, we want to burn them down, we want to pop them down because they don't serve us any good memories. You understand? All right. But they're there for you to admire and go take pictures of and all this. So there's no doubt that Jamaica's got a lot going on for itself and should be considered a worthy destination. We'd say that Jamaica is still a place to travel to, provided that you are careful. The tourist area of Jamaica tends to be very safe and beautiful places to stay. The tourist areas. Right now they have what's called the corridor. The corridor was specifically put together where all the restaurants, bars, hotels, everything in that area, shopping, stores you shop in and everything, everybody in that area has complied with and has gone through their little test and been certified to not only manage this whole COVID thing, as far as they have met all the measures for how they handle this, precautionary measures. They enforce, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that, you can't come in here without a mask, this kind of thing, that kind of thing. So it's pretty safe in this area. Also heavily guarded, heavily protected. So in a sense, this is probably one of the safest times to actually visit. Not to mention the plane ride. I went and I was surprised that there were that many people there on the ground because my plane went in virtually half empty. So we were able to spread out and get extra seats. And, you know, the flight attendants, they didn't have a problem with it. So it's what you're getting like, we got bumped up to first class, you know, and reclined the seat and kick back. And it was good. It was good. I didn't pay for a first class ticket, but we got bumped up to first class. So it's a good time to travel right now. The biggest safety issue that Jamaica is facing are gang-related crimes. Jamaica is where it's situated. If you don't know that, it's considered the perfect hub for transitional movements throughout North America, or that part of, and you know, drugs, whole heap of drugs come through that area. Jamaica is a drop-off point, a transient point where it gets repacked and sent on to. So there's a lot going on under the cover that you might not see. And because of that, a lot of gangs have formed on the island. So you couple that with people who don't want to go look work, and then people who really don't have any opportunities. There's the drug trade for them. And it allows them to be able to feel like they're somebody in society. They're able to buy vehicles and build houses and help take care of their family out of it. I'm not justifying being involved in that stuff. I'm just telling you that where opportunity is limited, then people will take whatever opportunity comes along. And some people see it as that. With that said, there's an underculture of badness. Yeah, man, a take no talk, man, a gangster, road where I run, and all them things there, money have to make by any means necessary, and these kind of things. So with that underculture, you have these gangs form. And as the gangs form and they go into competition for turf and guns and connections and, you know, with a lot of scamming thing and all that, then comes the murder rate. It goes up as well. So in a sense, visitors are not necessarily a target, You don't hear too many random stories out of Jamaica that, oh, another tourist again. Yes, another tourist next week, another tourist next week. So they're not paying you no mind, really. They're not paying you any mind. It's usually somebody that knows somebody and it has something to do with, you know, so it's all connected, really. So basically, the truth is if you stay out of the way, then you could be okay, or you most likely will be okay. Choosing the right neighborhoods in Jamaica can add to your safety. Some areas are known to be sketchy, and we'll talk about that later. And the best ones to avoid are also here. Now, once the level of crime hits a certain point, the government in Jamaica steps in and keep everything under control. That is what this article says. This article is written by a U.S. person who visits Jamaica. It's not by a Jamaican. So once the level of crime hits a certain point, the government steps in and keeps everything under control. If you ask us Jamaicans, this is where we talk raw. So if you ask us Jamaicans what they're on it wrong, we don't think that once it hits a certain level, they step in and get everything under control or keep everything under control. Things are not under control. Things are not under control. And if you don't believe me that things are not under control, then we are heading into 600 murders for the year in the 6th month of the year. Things are that much not under control, right? However, they are there and they do their thing, right? Law enforcement are there and they do their thing. So big up to them as well. I was talking to one, a Sunday called me. I had a Saturday or Sunday and gave me some good insight and told me to lock his number in, and I did. I won't mention his name though, but you know, we had a good talk. And our law enforcement officials, they are normally friendly. I wouldn't say well-mannered. It depends on how you know the culture. Some of them, or a lot of them, talk with an air of superiority and very commanding, but that's how they're trained to talk, and that's any law enforcement official. Don't expect for them to just cozy up and try to be your friend when they're trying to do their job. Put it that way. And understand the environment in which they are operating, which means that it can go sour at any minute. So with that mind frame, they operate in a certain manner, which I understand myself. People still tell me that I don't know how to talk to regular people. And I guess it's because of, you know, after you've been in the military for so long and you do these deployments and you go into combat zones and all this stuff, it kind of becomes a part of you. And I was watching a video yesterday of some things that happened in Jamaica. I don't know if y'all seen the video. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. But watching the police officers deal with that, like having to pick up somebody and put them in a vehicle because a gunshot tore through their head and left it wide open. And as the police picked them up, the brain just fell out on the ground like bloosh. I'm thinking to myself, and I said it to wifey after watching the video, I said, babe, have they ever thought that majority of these law enforcement officials in Jamaica that are on the ground, police, soldier, they are probably suffering from severe PTSD, especially the ones who've been in it for a long time. They're probably suffering from severe PTSD, and I'm talking about all the symptoms, right? I'm talking about the nightmares, the flashbacks, the cold sweats, the can't sleep, sleep deprivation. I'm talking about all that, irritability. All the signs are there because of what they have to put up with. So give them a little break. Give them a little break. They're not out to hurt you. I don't know Jamaican police to be the kind that pull up on you and they, with their intention is to hurt you. I've never known them to be that kind, right? Do they hurt people? Yes. Are there talks of how many people have been killed, extrajudicial killings? Yes. Do they operate outside the law? Yes. Rogue police officers? Yes. However, if you're a visitor, you're highly, highly, highly unlikely that anything like this is going to happen to you, right? So, DMAC, thank you. I appreciate you greatly. Stead Watt says there is no such thing as things will get better. We've been lied to for thousands of years. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. From I've been little until now, things have gotten better and better and better and better. So I'm seeing things get better. So you would have to like fine tune that comment, Stead Watts. You'd have to fine tune that comment about things will never get better. That sounds so doomsday-ish. Imagine if I came on here, right, and this is what I was giving to people in the morning, early in the morning, before you go off to work. SouFLo comes on. Things will never get better. We've been lied to for thousands of years. It's only going to get worse and worse. And I don't operate in that mind space. I'm sorry. Not sorry. I don't operate in that mind. And I've learned now to not be sorry that I don't operate in that mind space. I operate in the mind space of I'm up early in the morning. All praises to the Most High. Yes, I can take a deep breath. My lungs work well. Look in the mirror, everything still look the same. I'm still working. I'm good. Thank you, Almighty God. Thank you, Almighty Creator. And I'm off to my day. I'm not into the whole, things are never going to get better. That sounds very depressing. And that's not how I want to feel. See? So the first thing I would like to talk to you about is Jamaica travel insurance. Now, you know, when you go get your ticket, right? Or when you're booking your ticket and them say to you, say, you need travel insurance, it's an extra, whatever they charge, 30 bucks, 40, 50 bucks. Some people charge by the day. It'll be like 10 US dollars a day. You're going to be staying there for 2 weeks. So that's 14 days, 10 times 14. And you're thinking, I'll spend that money on something else. Nah, I'll forgo. I won't do the travel insurance thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Spend that little extra, get you some travel insurance. There have been situations where people had to be airlifted off the island. I mean, you don't know, accidents happen. I'm not talking about crime, I'm talking about accidents. Accidents happen. See, I remember one year I went to Jamaica and I went to some water area. And I mean, a bit my fault. That was my first time actually drinking a Magnum. And I drank 3 of them back to back. I sat on a little wall and I drank 3 of them back to back. And for some reason, I went to this area and jumped off. And I jumped off in the water and there was a broken bottle. The bottle was broken in half and it was sticking up. And I jumped on it and my left foot hit that bottle. And I could just feel it. And I knew it was cut bad. So here I am coming out this water with blood down the beach and everything like that. And medical care was needed. Now, if you have insurance that covers you in that manner, you'll be okay. Anything could happen. It wasn't no gunman that run me down. I wasn't in a car accident. I simply was enjoying myself. And I thought, let me overindulge and jumped in and there was a bottle in the water. So you just got to be careful. You never know, especially if you're traveling with your family, with children or whatever, you need that. But that whole airlifted out thing, I've seen where people did not have insurance and could not get airlifted out. And then I've seen where people did purchase their insurance and that was a part of their insurance and they were airlifted out. And they made it and they're fine, right? So I don't know if you've ever been in a hospital in Jamaica or if you know what the hospital climate is like. Shout out to the doctors and nurses, the healthcare workers in Jamaica. Some people say they have a bad attitude, but it's probably from being under all that stress. They are phenomenal. They are phenomenal. Listen, man, I've seen some injuries where I thought, yep, dead, ain't gonna make it, ain't gonna make it. Gunshot flew through a 7.62 from an AK-47, flew through a girl's head from this side, came out this side. right? She lost her vision. I thought she was dead. They saved her. They saved her, and I think she is probably still blind, or I'll do a follow-up on her story, or she regained some sight in one eye. But it was one of those volatile areas, which we will talk about in a minute. There are neighborhoods that are safe. Remember, I said that in the beginning, and we'll talk about those. We'll label them in a minute. So you can get out your pen and paper, and you can say, okay, don't ever go here. Stay away from there. Don't go here, and do it like that. All right? But healthcare workers are phenomenal there. Doesn't mean that the facilities are. Especially you're coming in there with nobody don't really know, insurance, all that other stuff. You're going to be treated as wait. So you're waiting unless it's extreme emergency, right? You got people sleeping on chairs, people catching up on the floor. It's not like, for instance, where I live most of the year in Florida here, the hospital that's close to me, I'm actually close to two major hospitals. And I get there and I go straight in and straight into a bed, straight into a room. So, and our room only keep two people max. And it depends on what your condition is. Because if I'm suspected of having something that others can catch, then I automatically go into a room by myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that there in Jamaica. They don't have it like that. They don't have it like that. So expect to be in a long line, in a crowded place, and I just saw the thing go. So purchase your travel insurance before you go for sure. Safest places to visit in Jamaica. Talk about this. Jamaica is again against the popular belief, a safe country for tourists. Jamaica is against popular belief, a safe area for tourists. So there are a lot of people that believe that Jamaica is not a safe place for tourists. And again, not so true. But as we mentioned above, some areas are better suited than others. Safe neighborhoods in Jamaica are pretty much all the resort areas, and urban areas that are well developed. They don't just give you great accommodation, they actually also give you roaming security and 24 hours security. So not only to visitors, but for those who are returning, we've had these discussions before where we talked about don't just go there and build up a place way out in the middle of because you like the scenery, or oh, I can see the beach from this hilltop, and you go and you build like the most grandiose house, and all the other houses in that area look like little huts compared to your house. Now, ain't nobody living in no hut. I mean, we might have a few, but majority of the people in Jamaica, them houses not no hut. But I'm just saying, in comparison to what you go there to build, don't go in there and overdo it. And you don't know anybody there and all that. Jamaica is a very tribal place. Let's put it that way. And I've said this before as well, Jamaica is a very tribal place. So you can't just go into people's neighborhood, build up big house, and just move in, right? Nobody knows you there. So if you're one of those that are planning on actually going back altogether, not just visiting, then these are some of the things that I suggest that you do. Start taking small trips to the island. The area where you are planning on living, start moving around that area. Start seeing people and have people see you. You don't have to go out there and be all boisterous to be seen like that. I mean, like go greet the business owners. Walk up in a whoever shop is there or whoever grocery store is there or whoever and start talking to people. Start socializing a bit. Some people have the notion, though, that I don't want to be bothered. I live a foreign for years. I made good money. I come back and build up my nice house and just stay to myself. We're not antisocial. In Jamaica, we're not antisocial. See? So if you live next to people, more than likely they're going to talk to you. That's just how they are. That's just how our culture is. It's not like in the US where I live where my neighbors don't speak. And if I wave, they might squeeze out a wave. And then the next day they don't wave, like they're tired of waving. All right, I'll wave to you already on Monday. I'll take that one wave for the week. No, Jamaican people are kind of different. So wherever you're planning on going there, planning on planting your foot there, if you're going to be a returnee or returning resident, go out and know the place, know the people, associate with the people. You have certain neighborhoods for that. This is Colonel. Colonel Weston. Colonel Weston says you have certain neighborhoods for that. And that's true. You can't do it everywhere. I wouldn't advise you to just go out and start greeting people all over the island. Like I said before, we have places that you just need to put on your list of don't go places and just don't go there. There are places right here in Florida that's on my don't go list and I just don't go there. You know what I mean? So anyhow, one of the places they want to start out with is Ocho Rios. All right. Ocho Rios, located on Jamaica's northwest shore. Ocho is the most popular tourist destination on the island. It is a former fishing village, and this city is where you'll find a majority of Jamaica's all-inclusive restaurant. It is also a part of that corridor that I'm telling you about that they have formed. So Ocho is the place. It's one of the most family-friendly areas on the island, since crime statistics there are very low. They even say that Ocho Rios is a comfortable and secure place. It's a tourist hotspot on Jamaica's north coast, and they even advise you that if it is your first time visiting Jamaica, if you can make Ocho Rios, we call it Ochi, affectionately called Ochi, the 8 rivers, Ocho, 8 Rios rivers. If this is your first time going to Jamaica and you can make Ochi the place to stay, then do so. You will have a pleasant experience and very little to worry about, right? All right. And matter of fact, the last time I went to Jamaica, it was my first time actually really going to, I've been past heading to an airport, but I've never stayed there. So this time with me and wifey and Kai, and Milani, we actually stayed in that area. All right. So we were in Negril, which is another nice place. The Grill, Ocho Rios, them kind of place there. All right. Port Antonio is another one that is highly recommended. Port Antonio is located on the northern coast of Jamaica, and this town is home to a number of great natural attractions, including waterfalls, the Blue Lagoon, animal exhibitions, and more. Same as Ocho Rios, crime statistics are very low in Port Antonio, but you might get to experience more of Jamaica's culture if you stay in Port Antonio versus staying in Ocho Rios. Ocho Rios is like geared towards tourists. I remember one person said to me, SouFlo, if I'm going to Jamaica, I'm not going to Jamaica to see Americans. I live in America. I want to get away from them. And when I went downstairs at the hotel, they stayed in an all-inclusive. She said when I went downstairs for food, all I saw, I mean, it was beautiful food. It was laid out, but majority of it is the same food that I eat in the U.S. all the time, right? And then to hear the people talking around me, it sounded just like I was still in the U.S. I was at one point, I was like, did I fly out or not? So some people would prefer more of the culture. Now, more of the culture is in Port Antonio than there is in Ocho Rios. And we're talking about culture as in the roots, the real thing. Y'all gonna get the real thing, right? You're gonna go out and see some stuff that you won't see inside of a resort. So it's up to you really where you stay. And I should tell you that there are some safe Airbnbs. So somebody, I don't know if you're on here this morning, called me Sunday. And you know, there Sunday where I said, Jesus Christ, people are called on Sunday and can't give you a break, but it's okay, me answer iPhone. Somebody called on Sunday and she said she's going to Jamaica for a vacation. And if I knew of any good places she could stay, that's not a hotel. Oh no, she asked if I know of any hotels she could stay. Another person called and asked about New York, and I sent her to the same information, Airbnb. So when you go Airbnb, right, you want to go Airbnb, but you want to look for Superhost. So what a Superhost on Airbnb is, first of all, your Airbnb, what I have found is that compared to hotels, I pay half the money and I get way more. I get a whole house for myself. I'm talking about we had a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house at one point, and then we had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Then we had a, like, it's not a hotel room, and I opened my hotel door and look down hallways, and there are other people next to me, next to me, next to me. Especially in these times, that's just how I like to roll. You know what I'm saying? So you go Airbnb, find a super host. It says it on Airbnb. Book off Superhost only. When you book off Superhost, I'm telling you to book off Superhost only, which is kind of like somebody right now is not a Superhost and they're like, look on SouFLo, I try to kill my business. Man, a Superhost. Well, make yourself a Superhost, fam. Superhost, though, for the people who I'm talking to, is their interest is my interest. So what Superhost does is it allows you to book with somebody who is tried and proven through a system. Not only is their location safe, it will tell you everything that is close by. It'll even tell you way more than what you would get if, say, for instance, you're going to book into a hotel and you look up all the information on the hotel. When you go Superhost, you get way more than that. It's different. It's different. I was greeted one time. There was one time that we stayed in, and I did a vlog on it, and it's on the channel, Lost in the videos. I was surprised. I was surprised because I wanted to stay in Portmore this trip. So we looked for a place, and there was this brother that came. He's an engineer by trade, and you know, he's diversifying his portfolio, doing stuff. So he has this place right here. And I'm thinking, okay, let's go see what this is about. I walked in, it was a smart house. The house was too smart for me. I let Brains handle it because I'm not into that. She named Brains, she PR thing that I'm not into all that smart stuff. The bed talks to you and adjusts this. The wall does this. You put this code in and that. And I was very pleasantly surprised, you know, and it was a 2-story house. And up on the 2nd floor, and there were no bars and no grills and no nothing. And I was powered the whole time because I was saying to her, like, okay, I understand the security is here, but don't you think the windows, because I'm so used to staying in a place where the grill on the window, at least I have some kind, and it was nothing to be afraid of. The place wasn't grilled up. I didn't feel like I was locked in. Matter of fact, it had big floor to ceiling windows, glass, and all this. And my first thought when I got there was, but gunman can't run in here so easy. Them can just run in through the glass here, bust the glass, and they're in the house and everything. If you ever hear that alarm go off, and that alarm is sensitive, boy, you have about 5 seconds to do, or they're coming. And it had a nice wall around it. From the 2nd floor, I had a balcony that overlooked the wall and the mountains and everything like that, and see regular people down the road. So this wasn't no tourist area either, but it was an Airbnb from a super host. So super hosts are usually well-educated people, very intelligent, very articulate in the way they handle themselves, very well-mannered. Like I said, their stuff is proven. And this guy went above and beyond, okay? And he didn't know it was SouFLo coming in or anything. He went above and beyond. And the way how it was laid out, and you had a bottle of this waiting for you when you got there and all this other stuff. So super host. Take my advice from take this advice from me and go Superhost, Airbnb, and Jamaica, and you're good. Anywhere. All right. Now Negril with his sapphire waters and the white sand, that kind of stuff makes people feel some kind of a way, like, you know, you're really on vacation out here. Negril is located on the northwestern coast of the country, and this is where you'll find the stunning beaches, gorgeous natural scenery, a wide variety of cultural attractions. And if you're visiting for the first time or with your family, Negril should be the base to explore Jamaica. Negril. So some say Ocharia, some say Negril, but Negril. I was in Negril the last time. Negril is, man, I can't explain it to you. Just, you got to be there. The food is everywhere. It's cheap. It's healthy food that's cheap, organic food that's cheap. We're talking about the locals out, right? Lots of places to eat, lots of places to be entertained if you just sit out on the front. Not intimidating at all. Everybody is friendly, that kind of stuff. And there are lots of other people walking around. I see, you can tell that they're not from there per se. Some of them have stayed there for a long time. The tourists who are into, let me show you how safe it is. The tourists that are into fitness, because you know some people, they stay fit wherever they go, even while they're traveling. They won't book a hotel if it doesn't have a gym. Those kind of people, fitness fanatics, people who live a certain way, you will see a lot of them in Negril, and they are tourists. They'll rent their bicycle, go on long rides, and I'm driving through these places and I see them and I'm like, "Raw, kid, what them a do road there so all around there so," and they're good. They're good. They'll go on foot and they'll just walk everywhere and they're good in their little 2s and 3s and they're good. Nobody bothers them. You don't hear no stories coming out of there about them getting kidnapped, taken away, robbed, anything like that. You know, but there's more into that than that though. Places to avoid in Jamaica. Places to avoid in Jamaica. Now this is where it gets interesting. Unfortunately, not all places in Jamaica are safe. Are tourist hubs, just like everywhere else in the world, right? Every country has its beautiful places and the place you would like to be, and then they bring you to some round one corner, one part round that's all, and then you're like, oh hell no, right? So everywhere is like that. So unfortunately, Jamaica has these places as well. The general rule is the further you go into rural areas, the more dangerous it gets. These two cities are the exception. Being both populated and hectic, if you decide to explore them, just keep your eyes open for potential sketchy situations. Now, on that part, the further you go into rural areas, the more dangerous it gets. Jamaica's roads are very windy and very scenic, especially if you're visiting, and it's easy for you to say, "Cha, forget the GPS, I just want to get lost. I'm just going to drive and see what we can see." Right? And I got the camera running and I'm out the window and it's very easy. And before you know it, you're up so around so and don't ask for directions from like locals because you're gonna get you go up there so and then you also want a red shop on the left, see? Bus a right there so and then when you go around the part round there so and you're not gonna understand those directions because that's how we get direction. But the places that you don't go, that you avoid. Going into the rurals, it's like going into the mountains. It's like going into the jungle, right? It's like going into the jungle. So you should expect that anything can happen. That video I did where my tire popped, bust my tire on bad road because the side of the road was really bad. And I did a little swerve and bust my tire. I was able to change tires, get back, and in the video I said, if you're coming here, make sure that you have roadside assistance. It normally comes with your rental, if you're renting a vehicle. And yes, I rent my own vehicle and I drive around the island by myself. But as long as you make sure you have roadside assistance if you're renting your vehicle. But if you go too far away from where you rented the vehicle, then expect that roadside assistance is going to be forever to get to you. We were given a 6-hour minimum for roadside assistance. Now I popped my tire at 5 something in the evening, right? Or 4 something in the afternoon. And I think 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock was the cutoff time for curfew. So I have very little time to work with. Some people can't change a tire. Some people don't know how to jack up a vehicle, take off the old tire, put on a new tire, flip that in the trunk and be about their business. So you're going to be stuck if you're one of those kind of people. And in the US, we have AAA and we have all these other stuff. For instance, anywhere I break down, they have a network somewhere close by, a member of their network that can get to me in a short period of time, not Jamaica. So you can't just go all over the place. 7 p.m., babe. All right, thank you. She's silently watching and listening. I didn't know she was here. Morning, babe. So, yeah, make sure you have roadside assistance. And if you're too far away from where you rented your vehicle, like I said, expect a long wait. Now, here's the thing. Some people are like, you don't want to get caught out there, SouFlo, come man will come rob you and kill you and all that. Honestly, if it wasn't for curfew, I probably would have buy a pineapple and buy 2 mango from the lady where they're close by and eat that and chill and wait. Because really and truly, I'm more likely to get help than anything else. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't advise it if you're a tourist though, because I mean anything can happen. Anything can happen. Bad things happen everywhere. In the most pristine neighborhoods, bad things happen. You understand? One criminal can get into that neighborhood even though it's safe and guarded and all that, and you be the victim of the day. I just don't want to be that one-off chance. But more than likely, I would have been good if it wasn't for the curfew thing and it's getting dark and the curfew will come down and everybody is whoos, whoos. Yo, we have to come off of the road, you know. Brother, all right, see you later. I'm gone here. No one them catch me out here. That kind of frantic thing they were trying to get inside, and we got caught up in it. But you're more likely to get help. Jamaican people are very helpful. Very helpful. And they will change your tire for you. A hustling a go on, you know. Hustlers are everywhere in Jamaica. That's another thing I love about the culture. So for every beggar that you see, there's probably about 10 hustlers around. And I mean hustling everything and anything. Yo, boss, want your tire, boss? I say, yeah, man, the tire, boss, and I can't change it. I say, yeah, me do it for you, man. Just give me a small thing. That's how they are, right? And you just give them a small thing, whatever the small thing is. Be respectful about the small thing. You know what I'm saying? I just took my time and changed your tire when you couldn't change it, so you're back on the road. So don't give me no teeny weeny thing, but give me a small thing. And just give them a small thing. Be grateful and just keep it moving. So they're very helpful. They're very helpful. The majority of the people you will meet in Jamaica will want you to get to where you are going safely. And they will help to direct you to where you're going safely. Anything you want, them will help you to get it safely. Majority of them. That's just how they are. That's just, even the one them where you would call madhead, crazy, sick, bad man that you know him look like him, even them, they will make sure that you are okay and you get to where you're going safely and all these things. See? So Kingston, this is on the list now of places to avoid. If you decide to explore these two cities, then do so with extreme caution, is what this is saying. See? Kingston. Kingston is Jamaica's capital city and it's busy. And there are tons of interesting attractions in the neighborhood. However, the crime rates are probably the worst. This is where you'll find most of the gang activities on the island, robberies and violence. Some parts of Kingston, like Cassava Peace and Grants Pen, those names, they are pretty much a no-go area for tourists. Others are okay as long as you visit during the day. What should I add or take away from that? I should add that I've seen street parties in Grand Spen, street parties around a Cassava Piece, big street parties. This is if you've never been to a street party in Jamaica, big sound selector is there, which is the DJ that does the music. The speakers, them are huge and they're out. And when the music play, you can hear it from about 2 miles away, that kind of thing. A lot of people are out. Food vendors are out. This is where you get your grill, your chicken straight off of the grill while you're having some drinks and you know, you have everything is there. Street party, and you party under the sun, under the stars. Sorry. I have seen these parties in these two places that they're telling you is a no-go zone for tourists. And I've seen nothing but tourists in there. And the tourists are in there mingling with the people that come from there. And they're there, especially the Asians like Japanese, Chinese tourists and Europeans that come from far parts of Europe. They come there and they stay there. Them book dancing lessons with Shelly Belly and Dancing Rebel and TC and them, and they come there to soak up the culture. They don't want to eat at a restaurant. They want to eat from off at the side of the road. They don't want to be in a club. They want to be partying outside. They want to dance like how you dance. If you move like so, they want to, how you do that? Show me again. How you do that? And they're there. And I've seen it. And I've seen it countless times. So Would I advise you though, as someone that is traveling single, to go and just go gallivant in these places? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But if you're traveling with your little crew and things are happening in these areas, then I wouldn't tell you, say, just stay away from these places altogether. One thing about Kingston for me is the infrastructure. Because Kingston is actually, you would think that Montego Bay or Ocho Rios are one of them places that is the capital, but Kingston is the capital. So for Kingston to be the capital and be so raggedy in so many places, like, it needs to be fixed up. So yeah, the government could do more with putting more into the infrastructure and fixing up the place more, make it look a little bit more nicer, you know, to the eyes, kind of thing. Maybe more tourists would fly there instead of there, instead of over to Ochi and Negril, where it's pristine. Like, you know, them sweep the road every 5 minutes, they repave the road, them plant up nice flowers, they paint over everything, is all well sketched and etched. And then you go to Kingston and it's rough terrain. It's rough terrain. And I'm driving there and I'm thinking, going to the airport, you know, and I'm like, yo, this place look, I mean, the vibe is so good, man. The vibe is vibrant. The people them out. Music, you know, music is a big part of the culture. So music is everywhere from early in the morning down till late in the evening. And you could vibe just walking through the street. You would end up dancing on your way to get some good food. And somebody is going to make you laugh along the way. But when I look at the infrastructure, I'm like, damn, you know, the people are so resilient too. They find joy even in the midst of, yeah. So the tourists would want beachside resorts. No Norma R. Nah, the tourists wouldn't want no beachside resorts. The tourists actually will probably book a beachside resort because they want to feel that. But majority of those tourists actually want to venture out. It is fear why they don't venture out. And I'll tell you what, I even think that there's a system set in place to make them go all herd into the resort. Because think about it. If you don't herd these people into the resort, where's their money going to go? Where are their monies going? The more they spend time outside of the resort, it's the more likely that their money will go to Miss Matty Soup Shop. It will go to Mas John Cook Shop down the road. It will go to Bingy Dread over there, so where do the carvings, them and them, something there. It will go to so-and-so up here. So that's what will happen. The money will leave the resort. So there is vested interest in making sure that they go from that airplane into a shuttle, into a resort, lock the resort gate. This is where you stay and party. And when you leave, you open that gate, go back on that shuttle, back to the airport, off the island. That's a safe way to travel. It is a safe way to travel. And a lot of people, you don't want to travel with fear. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to travel with fear. So we choose the easy option. But I'm telling you that after a while, those people that keep on returning, after about them second trip, they're like, I'm not staying in this resort. Man, it's time to venture out. And they do. And once they venture out, ain't no coming back. A lot of them, once they venture out, they don't even do resorts anymore. I can't stay at a resort no more. I know people personally that go there and they find a local to stay with. Not true, babe. Down a back road need to be turned into a red light district because I've never seen no don't like that in my life. All right, so for those of you who like to buy front, there's a place called Back Road. Just no, but seriously though, yeah. I took her to through Back Road when we were in Jamaica. Not that last trip, but the trip before that. I took her to a place called Back Road. A lot of you probably don't know what Back Road is, but most Back Road, the famous Back Road. Back Road is a strip where you could drive through there and you see some very salacious, tantalizing, sexy body, chrome up skin. I miss a chrome up skin, but I talk about bleach out skin. I talk about the one that with dark skin and pretty and these things. You see a whole lot of that on that street, and some of them don't have no clothes on, like literally out naked, and they working. See, jumping in cars, jumping out of cars. Man pick them up, go around the corner, yeah, ropes, come back around. And we were saying that, now I've lived in Europe, and you know, me and Babe was talking about this stuff, like, for instance, Amsterdam has the red light district. In Germany, it's perfectly legal. They actually pay taxes on their VJJ, and it's insured and licensed and all that other stuff, and checked out on a regular basis. I think they get checked 4 or 5 times a year. A mandatory 4 or 5 times a year visit to a gynecologist and doctor, something, full checkup, all this other stuff. So there are incentives to it. The government makes money, they make money. I mean, if you want to call it prostitution, just to go a little bit off track, it's the oldest profession. So it's not going to stop, but they can make it better. So yeah, and that's what I thought about. But anyhow, baby, it took me off track with this whole back road thing. So 14 more safety tips for traveling in Jamaica. All right. Safety tips for traveling in Jamaica now. So they're saying that Montego Bay and Kingston, if you're going to go to these 2 cities, be extra vigilant, because most of the gang activities in Jamaica happens in Kingston, or now Mobay and Kingston. The thing kind of turn up a little extra, right? Jamaica safety tips. Be vigilant in these areas. Listen to the areas to be vigilant in Kingston, West Kingston, Grand Spen, August Town, Harborview, Spanish Town. In Montego Bay, you want to be more vigilant in places like Flankers, Barretttown, Norwood, Glendavon, Rose Heights, Mount Salem. These are definitely places. This article says these are definitely places to avoid when you're in Jamaica. The funny thing, though, is for returning residents that are not necessarily visitors, that have people in these places, like if your family is there, you haven't been back in 10 years. Some of them haven't been back since you were little. Some of you haven't been back in 15 and 20 years. Some of you haven't been back in 5 and 10 years. You're a stranger. You're a stranger. So just make sure, say, if you're going into these areas, don't go there thinking, I got family around here, I'm good. Don't do it. Don't do it. Make sure your family that you got around here, that you're good, make sure they're with you when you're when you're gallivanting through these places thinking, yeah, I got family around here. You're a stranger. The first time my cousin called me a tourist, I was upset. I was upset as hell. I was like, who y'all call tourists? He said, cause no disrespecting about Jano. I just saw the people them see you like a tourist, like, you know, live here. Mr. Brother, look how much time me come here for the year. Him said, that no matter, them no care, you fly out. So you're a tourist. So I can't imagine you guys who haven't been there in years. Don't go back there talking about, yeah man, Glendavon, my place, that man, I haven't been back in, like, you know, when the accent mix. You know what, I haven't been back in like about 10 years, Nick, but my place, that man, yeah, it's not your place. It's not your place. Make sure you have your family with you here, so then so the wasp them know say, okay, I'm good. I'm a good people from around there, so because they pre you like, who this strange man in that area move around and these kind of things. And there's a lot going on in certain areas. The people who are running things and doing things in them areas that are outside of the law, they're already paranoid. So when new face come in, is like, they're not looking at you as tourists. They might look by you like, I could have undercover agent, I could have some man come to scope out the thing. So make sure you know, right? For those of us who are returning, but that's our roots, we can't look at this list and say, not going there, not going there, not going there. Because guess what? Grandma lives right here still, that they're saying don't ever go to. So we still have to go back there. So for you kind of people, I would say, don't go back there acting like, kind of know someone will come afar and in about the space of 2, 3 years, 5 years, your accent gone. And you no longer know how to talk like a patois or to like gel back into your own culture. You just want everybody to understand that, you know, I just flew in and, you know, I catch flights, not feelings. You know what I'm saying? And you go out with all that extraness, and this is not the place for it. Okay, so go back for you. You try to be, you know, go back into the thing. That's why it's important to stay close to your culture, so it doesn't leave you and you don't leave it, and your people don't start looking at you like you're a tourist. Because once them start treating you like you're a tourist, is either one or two things gonna happen. Give me a thing now, cause that tourist get, or what can I do for you? But you're gonna have to pay me, kind of thing. See it? So listen to this one. Yeah, be humble. I looked up the meaning of the word humble though, and I didn't really like it. Go look up the meaning of the word humble. You don't like it, but I understand what you mean. As we have known humble to mean, it doesn't mean dumb yourself down, but be humble means, just to elaborate on what you're saying. Who's that? Our natural Hughes. Thank you. Just to elaborate on that. Be humble when you're in another place. When I'm going to Jamaica, I don't do a couple of things. I'm not bringing no Jordans that just came out, and the Jordan was $230 for the pair of shoes. I'm not bring, even if I have those, they're not going with me. All right. You see them push slippers there? Them same push slippers here. Check it. No joke. The same push slippers right here, right? With the inside look like that. Wear out and tear out. When them look for me, them say, Brock foreigner, him not have nothing to give me, man. Go about them business. Even if there was somebody that was trying to look at me another way. Yeah, it's t-shirts and shorts for me, or sweatpants. I roll up the leg, and a wife beater, what we call tank top, and stuff like that. I've seen people down there though. They find the luxury car rental place, and they make sure they rent the BMW that they drop the top on, and they make sure they're real extra and they're real loud, and everywhere them go is, you want a drink? You want a drink too? You want, all right, here what? Drinks for everybody around here and this and that. Don't be one of them people there. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. And it only attracts attention to you. You got to understand that you're in a country, right, where whether we like to say it or not, there's a lot of poverty there. Doesn't mean that Jamaica is poor. We already know the understory of that. Their finances grossly mismanaged by those who have been elected to lead for forever. Them nyam out the country wealth. So the place set kind of away. Plus, very limited opportunity to excel. So hungry eyes are always around. If you want to give a youth a little $1 or something, that's because you feel good about the kids and all that. It's cool. But I've seen people doing way extra, and not just one person or two. I've seen a lot of people doing way extra. That stuff can cost you, and it can cost you dearly, right? So I don't join that part right there. There's another one that says, be vigilant in these areas. Then the next one is watch your back at ATMs. Hell, I watch my back at ATMs in the US. Watch your back at ATMs. Robberies can happen. Try to use ATMs only in busy areas. Well, that's another thing. I can pull up at any ATM, and I watch my back here, of course, but it's not just everywhere. It's not just everywhere. There are places in Miami that I would not jump out to use an ATM unless I got my firearm on me. You understand? So, and I'm paro, and I'm keeping one hand close to it too. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Just choose the areas where you choose to do things. Move wisely. Yeah, I've seen that again. People want everybody to know how much they just took out the ATM, and they walk out with. In Jamaica, they have the ATMs. Most of the ATMs I've seen, it has a door that locks behind you. When you go in there, you make sure you lock that door, and you make sure you use your body to shield how much you're taking out and what is coming out. When me take out my money, I take it out, I fold it up, I push it down in somewhere, and then I take the receipt. And then when I walk out the door, I walk out the door with this look on my face. John knows. Rip up the receipt. My broke. It's like I just went to check the ATM and there really wasn't nothing there. And it's not like I have to do that. It's just something that I practice doing. Right? So that goes for anywhere. So I don't want everybody to know how much I'm taking out the ATM and for sure yes, I'm just flying from foreign and yeah, the US dollar strong, you know, I'm just change out 2,000 USD and cash in a Jamaican money because that's a lot of money in Jamaican money. It's gonna be a lot of paper money. And right away, you walk out like that, all eyes are gonna be on it, right? Yo, what brains I say? Kingston is just not conducive for tourists. Return residents is another story. It's a fact. We stayed multiple times, multiple years in a row. She not too like the town thing. Me, I'm a Clarendon man, and you know, enough of my family either come from town or still live there, or so I fluctuate between this one and this one. Brings them from the tourist side, from the Negril, Westmoreland area kind of thing. Very nice down there. Very nice down there. I think Kingston could be a major tourist attraction if the Jamaican government invest in fixing up and beautifying the infrastructure of Kingston. And they should, because it is our capital, right? They should. So a next tip, it says make sure that where you're staying is secured. Well, if I gotta tell you that, you don't need to travel. Make sure that where you're staying is secured. Make sure that you check all the doors and all the windows. That's the first. Ask my wife. She's right here. That's the first thing I do. We go into a new place, drop bag. SouFLo, on the move. I'm checking ceiling, in the closet, check every window, make sure every window is able to open just in case carbon monoxide leaking at the place. We can't open up the window then. Make sure every window is able to securely lock because I don't want nobody coming in on me in the night when I'm sleeping. All kinds of things like that is what you go in and you make sure, right? All right. I think that was a given though. Or maybe, am I the only one that does that? My card has been scammed using Jamaica ATMs. Yeah, them things that happen all around the world. Your card gets scammed, but if you have a good bank, you'll get your money back, right? I've been scammed before too, and I got my money back. Because my bank, I just say, hey, I didn't authorize this transaction. And then you fill out a little report, them do them thing. Oh, you do it all online. I didn't authorize this transaction, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say, hey, okay, there's a list of other transactions we need to ask then. This one, nope. That one, nope. This one, yes, I did that one. That was my last one. The other four after that, that was not me. Okay, bam. They credit my money back to my thing. They do their investigation, and that's it. So as long as it's not life, they could take all the money they want. As long as it's not life, you could take all my material possession. Take off my hat, my shirt, my drawers, everything. Left me naked. Just don't kill me. I'm good. Be polite, but be firm to hustlers. Somehow you say, you forgot what it's like. So when you go back, you're like, I'll move from that son. I got them big, you know, they can't take this thing. You just numb up yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is saying be polite but firm to hustlers. Selling drugs, sunglasses, or whatever, I could have bottled water or whatever they're saying. Just say no thank you firmly if it's not what you want, right? Stick to your guns. Sometimes they try to convince you that this is what you want. Just stick to your guns, but be polite. Don't act like you're above the people and they're beneath you. And then people buy water from roadside. No, sir, I don't know where your hand been and the bag. Later here, have a good day. I've seen these kind of things. So some people go on extra, right? Be polite. Be polite. Like I said, Jamaican people are mostly friendly. Nina Sky, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And some other donations came in and I never even shout them out. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Darlene, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And let me see, there's another one right here. George Christopher, George Plush Creations. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, so what we're doing this morning with the show is we're wising up some people, right? We're letting them know that as much as what you've been hearing, the world is opening up and it's time to go traveling again. Some people have been texting me, calling me, or leaving in the comment section. SouFLo, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to travel. but I don't know about this Jamaica trip, man. Your videos make me nervous. I felt the need to do this video. Don't use my videos to say it makes you nervous. When I do crime stories, it's usually really to let like Jamaicans who go there. Some of us will end up in those areas or going through those areas. So it's important to let you know that, hey, the murder rate turn up in Clarendon and Alberta. And Zoso and zones of special operation is set up there and everything. That's something I think I would need to know before going. And I can't just find it just anywhere. So if I hear it, I know how to prepare myself when I'm going, right? You don't want to go and you're in a shock. I wish some soldier around here. I want them. Feel like I'm in a war zone. You paro. You have to know what's going on. So we do those videos for that, right? And also for the people who lose their lives, I always say this. There's a proverb that says, if you die and nobody calls your name after or speak after you pass, then you're truly dead. And I feel it's such a dishonor to the people who lose their lives under these circumstances and nobody says anything about them. You know, it was like, oh, well, on to the next one. Somebody else will get killed tomorrow. So regular news, that next news, who else dead today? You know, like, wow, that was a life. So sometimes I feel the need to like tell their story, what happened to them and how they went out, and also put like a message in there for those who are still living in that area or associated or that kind of a life, you know, like these possibilities, or this could be the ending for you too, man. Like ship up, something, but make it useful. And when we make it useful, then they live on, right? They didn't die in vain, because I can at least learn from your example and avoid some pitfalls, or allow others to avoid some pitfalls. That's my sentiment of why I do those. It's not to scare anybody, because I wouldn't be scaring you and then I'm going there on a regular basis myself. See? All right. Keep an eye on local news for hurricanes. Know what to do. I've got one more after this. Keep an eye on local news for hurricanes and know what to do in the event of a hurricane. It could literally save your life. Okay, yeah. Hurricane ain't really no worry for the average Jamaican, but you'll probably see some of it outside in the hurricane, like for real, while the breeze are blow. Yo, dog, you see the whole over so gone. Whoa. And we out there like this, clothes blowing, just having fun. That's Jamaicans for you. We go run up and down in the rain. We find games. We hunker down when it's time to hunker down and make it through rough stuff, and we come right back again. Don't be that paranoid. Oh, is a hurricane gonna hit if I'm on the island? If you're on the island, make sure that you travel with your travel insurance, like I said, and then you should be okay after that. If hurricane will come, you have a lot of time to know. Jamaica is such a place, it moves like this. You will see the crowd moving if something is wrong. You will know that something is wrong if something is wrong. A very vocal people, sometimes very extra people, but that's just how we are. It's in our nature, it's our culture. We're very expressive. Yo, you know, you say hurricane will come. Yo, dog, them says a category 4, the place I got blow down. Make sure you can't miss it. You can't miss it. So you don't have to be on vacation and you're like tuned to the radio, wonder if a hurricane's gonna hit. Did you listen to the news today, Martha? Did you make sure you listen to the weather report? Everything is good. You don't have to do all that, okay? You don't have to do all that. When we move, everybody knows. When something is gonna happen, everybody knows. Put it that way. All right, and the last one is, aside from mosquitoes, protect against the no-see-ums. You don't see them. They hang around the water and they are annoying, and they cover up, especially at dawn or dusk, and use a repellent, burn coils if possible. Now hear this. You see, if you stay over Portmore, just go inside here, son. The repellent there, it don't work on Portmore mosquito them mosquitoes, like they've mutated into something. I don't know how to explain that, but those who know. Those who know. We used to pack the drum, the steel drum them. We used to pack those with grass. Like when people don't cut the grass, heat them up, pack them in there. Then we light that and smoke up the place to get away mosquitoes. The mosquito them come chilling at the smoke, same way. And just a pray with who them a go bite next. Like, brother, them a smoke me out. I think this a work. You know, along with that, my grandfather's grandfather did the right. That's how the mosquitoes in Portmore are. So other than Portmore, just go inside. Mosquitoes, they are in Jamaica. I do get bit up a lot when I go there, and I am allergic to mosquito bites. So not in the form that I stop breathing or anything. If a mosquito bites me here, it's going to be extremely swollen. You're gonna think say a bee sting me or something. So imagine when I get multiple bites. Yeah. But I think it's just the foreign blood. There's nothing you could do to avoid it. Spray on your repellent, of course, like they advise you in the travel advisor. But you will soon find out that Jamaican mosquito is like Jamaican people. You build one way, them find the next way. That's just our thing. That's how we do it. See? And the mosquitoes are just the same. So you spray on your repellent all you want to. I guarantee you're still gonna get bit. All right. So look out for dengue fever and these kind of things. And I would say don't go around dirty water, like dirty, murky waters. Stay away from those. If you see the John drop on the top of the water and you know, potty bag and juice box and these things float through it and feces, and stay away. Stay away, because the mosquitoes in those areas are probably the ones that are going to hit you with that dengue fever or something else. Other than that, that's all I have for you this morning, man. I hope this was helpful to somebody, and I hope this changed somebody's mind from looking at my birthland in some kind of negative way, like, oh my God, I will never visit. He's doing another crime story again. You know, the news does multiple crime stories on the US every single day, and people still are clamoring to leave their countries to come here. So my little one story them shouldn't turn you off. If you really want to go and really want to enjoy Jamaica, then go and enjoy it. It is a beauty to enjoy, and I wish, like I said in the beginning, I could bottle up what I experience every single time I go. Right now I'm itching. I'm feeling like I'm ready to go again. So don't mind sharp if y'all don't see me back in Jamaica again. And I just came back last month. So, hey man, go enjoy it. All right. Manners and respect to every Jamaican out there, every Jamaican across the world, my brothers and sisters. We are everywhere. We in everybody things. And that's just, again, speaks to our nature. That's how we are. We're up in everything. Yeah. All right. And shout out to my entire Caribbean family. See? One love, people. Catch you tomorrow morning on the next version of our next episode of Morning Thoughts right here with SouFLoTV. I'm starting to think I'm going to have to fix up my background now, because I was watching a vlogger last night. It's not a Jamaican vlogger. I don't think she likes Jamaicans either, but I learned from other people. So I was looking at her lighting and I was looking at her background and all that. Some people says, somebody actually told me, said they're not coming back until I take this thing off the wall. No, this was me looking at this sentimentally, because this is the first time Kai actually picked up a pen and tried to write, right? And it's been there ever since, and I haven't cleaned it off. So they want everything to be crispy and pristine and all that. Me don't know. I might try please some people, and then again, I just might not give, you know what. All right, Portmore, mosquito, them different for real. They're dangerous. They've been tried and proven. They might bite me up from my picnic, and they still biting me up today when I go there. And they get through anything, just like Jamaican people do. We get through anything. All right. Catch you on the next video tomorrow morning. One love. Walk good, my people. All in love. All right. I'm out. Peace.